When we bought a newer van, we didn't think we were gonna need one of these inside the van, nor this. It's been raining non-stop over the last couple of days in Ireland, and the leak is back. Seriously, the leak is back.
So there is leak number 1, and it's starting to leak from here. And it's leaking from here.
In this week's video, we want to have the big blue bus fully wired so we can have lights inside the van. And now that the leaks are back, thank God we discovered them before we put the roof up, we are going to have to use this liquid rubber coating and cross our fingers that this finally solves all our leaking problems.
So the problem with these cracks is that they are hairline cracks. You can hardly even see them, and that is where the water is kind of seeping through. There's not one big crack where we can find out the leak is here, so we're going to have to cover the whole channel from front to back, and fingers crossed we can cut we can fill it and we get no water in the van. I'm going to have to leave it for a day or two to dry.
And then the Irish weather is going to help us because it's given loads of rain.
Or you can just use the hose.
Oh yeah, true.
Or we can just put the hose on the roof and then we can see if we have a leak or not. So first of all, we have to go get brushes because we don't have any brushes.
We've got our brushes, and as you know, this is my expertise in the build. I used the wee brush to primer the edge of the windows, and now I'm going to use a brush to try to fix this leak.
So seemingly this here is a common problem with this type of van, with the Peugeot Boxer, the 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗢𝗥𝗧, the Citroen relays. They all leak up here at the seams, in the joints. I put it up on Facebook and several other people had this issue. It's mad that it's not coming in from any hose that we've made, but the seam sealer at the factory put on. So fingers crossed we can get this sorted today. So this stuff here says you can cover cracks up to 6mm. We do not have any cracks that are 6mm on that roof. So fingers crossed it does work.
They're like 0.6mm.
I wouldn't even say that.
They're so tiny.
So it says you have to store this for 30 seconds before putting it onto the roof. Damn.
Wow.
We're going to have a black roof. Okay, Annie, start 30-second timer. Oh, I wonder can we put this on Fergus so it seals the windows. So along these ridges here is where the water seems to come in. Specifically here and there in the middle. So we're going to coat this whole track along the whole entire roof, but even up along here, so that in the future we don't get any more leaks. So here goes nothing. Fingers crossed this fixes all our problems. Gorilla liquid rubber, please do your stuff. God, it's so thick. So this stuff is like self-leveling, so you can just literally pour it on and it levels itself out and fills all the wee little cracks. I really hope that this works. The sun couldn't have chosen a better time. It's going to help this seal dry really quick and really well. We are so hopeful that this is going to fix the leaks, because in Fergus, it's funny because Fergus is like 43 years old and there's no leaks on the roof, but a newer van just comes with more leaks. That just goes to show that Fergus is the #1 van. How are you getting on? It's looking pretty good. It's pretty amazing how it just self-levels itself and it just smooths itself out. It's actually pretty good.
Cool, that's what I like to hear. Now it's so nice to be outside doing the van build. When we started back in December and January, it was like -3, the van was frozen, we couldn't open the doors, and now the sun comes out at times. We don't need to wear our coats. Well, it doesn't really change for Shane because he's always wearing shorts and he'll always wear shorts, that's just him. But now I can be a bit more comfortable and I don't have to keep running into the house to put my hands on the radiator because that cold was unbearable.
So I have currently got half of one side of the van done. I'm going to give it over to Annie and let her do her bit, cover the rest of this section of the van, then we'll move on to the other side. So far it's looking pretty good. It kind of just fills out all the little gaps and smoothens itself out, which is pretty good.
Time for the professional painter to get on the roof.
If this liquid rubber coating works, I will be so pleased, because that means we can crack on even further with the van build and get it ready for summer. Because if you guys have ever had a leak in a van, you know it's just a dreaded task of trying to find where the leak's coming from, and we just cannot find it. It's literally impossible in this van. I think that might be the new name for this van, leak.
So this is what the roof of the van looks like.
She had one task and she got it all over the roof.
Sorry.
I think we have overestimated the amount of paint we needed. We ordered a litre and we have hardly even used a tenth of it.
We could have done 50 vans.
So if anybody has a leaky Peugeot Boxer or Citroen relay 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗢𝗥𝗧, give us a shout. We might be able to fix it. Can't guarantee. Give us a couple of hours. When this settles and we know if we have any more leaks, then we can fix your van.
We've enough to fix the roof of a house.
Absolutely.
Where were we going with a litre?
I do not know.
Drop a comment down below saying 100% waterproof to help seal the roof and also keep the algorithm happy.
So there you have it, guys. We have the whole entire roof sealed, front, side, backs, the whole lot, and it only took like a quarter of a tin, so we have plenty more left to do. When we let all this here dry, I might go around and give it a second coat just to be double sure we don't have any more leaks in the future. So this is the next morning and this is what it is looking like. It's kind of not fully dry, but it's hard enough, and you can see that there's water sitting on top of it, so fingers crossed that fixes everything. So far so good. There is no water inside the van, so that is a big plus. We'll just let it harden even more today. I might give it a second coat, and then tomorrow or the following day I will hit the van with the hose, and fingers crossed no water gets inside. And then if it doesn't, then we have done a successful job of curing this leak, and hopefully it can help someone else. So right now it is absolutely lashing rain, as you can see behind us. So this is the perfect test for the big blue bus. And if it passes this, it's going to pass every other rain shower there is. So I'm feeling pretty confident. Maybe that's too soon to say it, but it's looking good from before. So I'm going to try make it across to the van. Hopefully don't get wet, and see is there any leaks inside the van. Let's go. So I can safely say it is working. No leaks so far. So guys, if you remember in one of our previous videos, we set up our wire board right here. So now our task is to drill all the holes, start pulling all these wires through, make sure we don't mess them up, and then start connecting everything up, start wiring in lights, and this van will have lights and we'll be able to work in the dark, so that's going to be helpful. So while Shane is drilling those holes, I'm going to clean the van because it's a mess like always. So now guys, that is all the holes drilled on our electrical board. Now it's time to take the board off, carefully feed all the wires through all the holes, making sure that we are remarking them so we know what they are. So when we go to put them up to our fuse board, we are putting in the correct size of fuse. So that is going to be Annie's task. Bedroom lights or the kitchen light. We carefully pulled each wire through the panel, making sure to label them before connecting them up, not without realising that there had been a misunderstanding. The USB chargers, where are those? You didn't want any. Oh. You know, you tell me you want to have all these panels up. Yeah, I was thinking. And he's got her chargers in. Bit of miscommunication here. Miscommunication on your behalf. When you're building a van, the amount of time you waste cleaning the van and making decisions, it's so much time, like honestly, you don't realise. Okay, so this is going to be our fridge, just a spare cable, in case Annie wants anything else. And then I said that we had agreed to it. So we are making huge progress with the wiring. As you can see, we have all our negatives, all our powers ran. Annie has done another fantastic job labeling all of these cables, so when we do go to connect them all up, we know what we are connecting up. Now it's time to start running a couple more cables for our MPPT and our solar and everything. Let's get that job done. Yeah, this is much better than Fergus. Oh well, we have a lot more to work with here than we do in Fergus. In Fergus, we don't have the fuses labelled. So basically the setup that we are going for in the Big Blue Bus is the exact same setup we have in Fergus, only on a larger scale and better done, because when we were doing Fergus, we didn't really have that much space to work with, so everything is kind of crammed into one wee area. At least here, everything is going to be displayed nice and properly, and we're going to be able to fault find anything if anything does go wrong in the future. Hopefully it doesn't. Once we finish wiring up everything here, I'm going to show you the beast of a battery that we are going to be using to power the Big Blue Bus. So poor Annie's over here trying to learn how to crimp. How are you getting on? Every time I think it's good, but then Shane pulls it off. I don't think you're gonna pull off this one here. Like, look. Don't know if you can see it. You're getting there. Now it's time to use the big boys. What? Do you have all your ribs? Impressive. That's looking fantastic. Here's mine here.
So while Shane is doing the real stuff, I am practicing to crimp. These are all my failures, all my attempts. Right, Shane, if you can pull this one out, you're gonna break my heart. And I am not even messing like, I'll cry. So whenever you're ready, I want you to test my latest crimp.
Shall we? Lord Jesus Christ. What? This thing looks like it's been ate by a tiger. Passed.
Oh, really? Really? Are you serious?
Yeah, but they just look desperate.
I know. I didn't care about the looks.
So good morning, guys. We are back working in the van, getting all my negatives terminated, start working on the positives. But as you might have seen, I have this 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗢𝗥𝗧, which I said it was an MPPT, but it's a PWM. And one of you guys has messaged us saying that the Victron MPPT would be so much better for this build compared to this 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗢𝗥𝗧. Now this is the exact same one that I've had in Fergus. It works perfectly with the lithium battery in Fergus and everything, and it's the same one we're going to be putting in this van. So I have decided that I'm going to change this one and go for the Victron MPPT, and that says that it's 30% more efficient, so that would make life on the road even easier for us. Now especially we have 240 watts on the roof instead of 120 on Fergus. So if we change this here out, that should be coming tomorrow. Get rid of this, change it out for the MPPT, and that will make this build even better. So now let's keep cracking on with the wiring here, terminate all these positives, and get some power into this van. I am leaving an extra little length of wire so I can push it in, so whenever I do want to move this board, everything's not like jam tight, so I can actually pull it out a little bit further than I need to, and then that will make life a lot easier. Thinking ahead. So as you guys know, earlier on in the video I said that I'm going to be switching out my PWM for an MPPT. That should be in today, and then we can get cracking on finishing this wiring, and hopefully if it arrives early enough by tonight we will have power in this van and we will have lights everywhere. And here comes Annie.
Hey!
So as I was saying, the MPPT should be in today, and then we can get the whole electrical circuit finished.
So excited. It's going to be so cool to finally have lights in the van, and then we can put the roof up. Well, the leaks have to be fixed, but I feel like the big blue bus is taking shape very quickly.
Once we have all this connected up, our MPPT, we can start charging our big battery.
While we wait for the MPPT to come, we are going to install these reading lights. We are going so fancy, I know. Compared to Fergus, we are going to have reading lights, we have dimmers in this van, we are going to have so many nice things, so I'm so happy with that. They are going to go right here. I'm going to have one, and Shane's going to have another one. Here he is.
Even though I don't read.
I know, Shane is so bad for reading, but he's gonna get a reading light. I guess he deserves it as the main driver. Although, do you think I could drive this van?
Well, I seen how you drove Fergus.
If you can find her, grind her! We've just realised that we can't actually put those lights up.
You've realised.
Well, I've just realised. We need to wait for the MPPT, and then also I never thought that we are putting cupboards up here. So it doesn't make sense to put the lights right now because we're going to be working right above it. So let's hold on to those. I was really looking forward to testing them.
You're not going to read any books tonight, so be alright, we can wait another while. So guys, it has been a couple of hours later, and look what has arrived. The final missing piece of the puzzle. It's time to take out our old PWM, put in this MPPT, get the whole thing connected up, and this van should have power in the next hour.
Bit of an unboxing here. So here it is, our MPPT 120. Load of instruction manuals that Shane is not going to read. You better not judge a left-hander using a screwdriver. So now we have to cut these heads that Shane had crimped perfectly, and we have to take them out, take this out, drill bigger holes, and then put that there. I thought it was going to be simpler, and then we're going to have to crimp these again, but I'm going to let Shane do it. Are we not? No. Oh, thank God.
So now once all the wires are stripped, it is time to connect everything up. Should be pretty simple, and let's get cracking on. Join up the battery. Nope, too big. Damn it. So you might notice that we are missing a piece down here at the bottom, but that isn't right here. We are just leaving that off for the time being because we still have to feed some cables out from the solar panel for our all power, so it's better to leave that off for now, and then we can add it in later on.
So that board should not move and we should not have to take it off again, and now it's time to connect it to the battery and make the magic happen.
So before we move on any further with our electrical system, we need to get a battery. And this is why we have teamed up with LiTime to power this build. In the past, we have installed the exact same 200 amp hour lithium battery in Fergus and we could not be happier. So the reason why we have chosen this 200 amp hour lithium battery from LiTime is that this will allow us to live totally off grid for ages, especially when we have the solar panels on the roof. This is going to keep this charged, allowing us to live off grid, not having to worry about going to campsites or anything. This is going to be a game changer. Another cool thing about this battery, although it is absolutely huge, it is over 6 kg lighter than a normal AGM leisure battery with half the capacity. So this thing is an absolute beast and you're going to save some weight. So now there is only one thing left to do, and that is to get this battery connected up, and then eventually this fan will have power. So now it is time to connect up this battery. Very simple. All my positives to my positive, all my negatives to the negatives. Couldn't be any simpler. This fan should have power in the next 30 seconds. We have no lights collected, so we don't know yet. But let me turn this on. And let's check if this battery is charging with our MPPT. So we have got connected to our MPPT, and that is going to allow us to check what our solar panels are generating. And right now it's a little bit cloudy, but we are still generating 40 watts of solar. So that's pretty good. They say that this battery is at 13.5 volts, so this battery is fully charged. We should have a lot of light come this evening. So once again, I just want to give a huge shout out for LiTime for sponsoring this build and being the main power source of the big blue bus. We can't thank LiTime enough. We are so happy with them, especially with having them in Fergus for the last 2 years. We cannot fault them. And if you want to get your hands on any of the LiTime products, we are going to leave them linked down below. You can go and check them out. And again, thank you to the legends at LiTime. So it would be rude not to test out the lights working in the van now that we have the battery and all connected up. And in this van we're going to have 2 separate circuits, so we're going to have 2 separate switches. We're going to have it separated to the bedroom and to the living space.
We are so fancy.
We are so fancy now. In Fergus it's just like a football field. So if Annie's in bed, I can turn the lights on down here and she can rest her little head and she's not going to be disturbed. So we have everything just wired up again loosely to a dimmer switch so we can control the ambience inside the van. So if we connect that up, we have our light over here.
Wow!
We can control the lights.
That is so cool.
And we're going to have another switch, and that is going to run this whole separate circuit. So we're going to have 2 lights in the bedroom, 4 lights in the living room. This fan's going to be luxury.
I've been waiting so long for this moment. Turning a light on inside the van is like a huge milestone in the van build. We're getting closer to being able to actually enjoy this van and going on a trip.
So it's good to see that everything works and nothing has blown up yet.
Yet.
Yet being the big word.
So guys, it's the next day and overnight nothing has blown up, so that's a great sign. I think we're going to be all good. But while we wait on the last wiring bits to arrive, we are staining this sample tongue groove to see which stain we're going to go for. So we have light, medium, dark, and not sure what this one is. Leave down in the comments which one you would go for, because we are quite undecisive. We like a few of them, but we're not sure which one to go for. So leave down in the comments which one you like best.
So it is lashing rain right now, and from what I can see up here, the water is just laying on top of the liquid rubber, so that seems to be working. Let's go inside and check it out. So I am pleased to report that there is no leaks inside the van. Let's give it another while and just make sure that no water is seeping through, but so far so good. It looks like we have done the job right and there is no more leaks. So guys, it has been probably a week now since we have painted this Gorilla liquid rubber paint up on the roof, and I can safely say it has fixed all our issues. I know this is a common fault across most of these vans, in the Citroen Relay, Peugeot Boxer, Fiat Ducato. A lot of them tend to leak from the roof. No fault to anybody, but it just leaks down through where like the seam sealer is, and it is so annoying. So if you guys ever do have a problem like that, I highly recommend using this stuff. I couldn't be happy with it. I got it on Amazon. I think it was like €37 for this litre tub. I only used a quarter of it, and this is a medium wheelbase fan. So if you have a long wheelbase fan, you're only going to need a little bit more, but highly recommended if you do have one of those leaks, so go check them out.
I'm so happy with the progress we've made this week. The wiring is 99% done, and we are crossing our fingers that we've fixed those 2 leaks in the roof. We'll not be long finding out, so we'll give you an update next week. Take care, and we'll see you then. Bye!